honest, you know what? I need to talk about this because getting fit in your 40s when you've been out of it for years is hard. It is honestly really, really hard. And it's not just because your body's changing. Obviously, when you're in your 40s, things aren't the same. Like, your body's not the same when you're in your 20s. At least mine isn't. I'll speak towards mine. It's just not the same. That's part of it, yes, but it's just different. Like, life is different. The challenges I'm facing now in my 40s didn't exist when I was in my 20s and 30s. If you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and you've been trying to reincorporate fitness and health back into your lifestyle, and you feel like every time you get back into it or you get on track, something just feels like it's knocking you off track again. I feel you on that. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So a big thing for me is definitely time crunch. Like, there's just not enough. And I feel like I'm juggling so much most days. Like, I have a full-time job, I have a teenage daughter, I live with elderly parents who just need support once in a while, and so there's just a lot. Like, there's a lot, and it just feels like there's no time. At least there's no time left for me. By the time the end of the day comes around, I've put everybody else first, and I'm exhausted to the point where all I want to do is just lie down and watch TV. I just want to be able to just de-stress from the day. So it's hard when then you say, okay, 9 o'clock at night, time for workout. Like, what? I don't know where I'm supposed to get that energy from because I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't have anything left. So the time crunch is real, and it's like mentally exhausting. It's mentally exhausting. And so I've really had to figure out ways to incorporate my fitness into my day so that I'm not waiting until the end of the day. Because if I wait until the end of the day, I'm just not going to get it done. And I've realized that about myself. I'm just too tired. I'm shutting down at that point. My body is shutting down. So yeah, I have to incorporate it during the day, but that was never the case. Like, when I was in my 20s and 30s, because all I had to care about was myself. I had all the time in the world. I remember waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, hopping on that city bus, going to the gym, and then straight from there, going to my classes, my university classes, my college classes. And it was like, it was fine. Because then I'd be able to come home and take an afternoon nap. Like, what is that? When's the last time I took a nap? I don't even know what that feels like anymore. But this is what I'm saying. Like, when you're younger, that time crunch is it's just not there. And so I just had all this time to focus on myself because I didn't have to put anybody else first. And it's just not the same. It's just not the same. Not when you're a parent, not when you're working a full-time job. No, it's just not the same. So the crunch is real, and it's hard. It's not easy to figure out how to get around that. We're going to talk about the physical piece of it, okay? Because that is the whole piece that I was not prepared for. I didn't realize that it was going to be a painful struggle every single day from the moment you start. Like, what? I didn't realize I was going to have to suffer every day just to get fit. That was definitely not around when I was in my 20s. I would bounce back so quickly. I would do a workout, and then I'd have maybe a day or two of being sore, and then my rest day would come, and by the time my rest day was done, I was set. I was ready to go. The soreness was gone, and I was ready to go. My soreness hasn't gone anywhere for 4 or 5 weeks. It's here, alive, kicking, strong. It's just really painful. It's really painful. I honestly feel like my body is in complete shock. Like, it's just in complete shock. It's very upset with me right now. And it's just taking a lot longer to rebound. It's taking a lot longer to reset, to heal. Yeah, so that was a shock. Just something I never thought about or realized would be an issue right now, you know? I mean, come on, just because I'm 43, you're trying to tell me that, like, this is an issue? I don't think that's fair. I personally don't think that's fair, but it is reality, and it is what is happening right now? And so I've had to come to that realization and switch it up. I can't work out the same way I used to work out before. And it's little injuries too, like going for a 30-minute walk. I come back and I have a pain in my foot or feet, both, from 30 minutes of walking outdoors. Or my knees. Can we talk about my knees? I've never experienced knee pain before, but I do now. Apparently it's a thing. I have knee pain. And that can be discouraging. That can feel like a setback, you know, like you go for your walk and you're excited, you come back, and then your reward is you have pain in your foot. Your hip is hurting you. Your back is out. Your knees are upset with you. Give me a break, honestly. And they take longer to heal. I don't know if it's just me, but they do take longer to heal. Like when I have an injury these days, it takes me a minute to come back from that. So I've had to really think of alternatives. Like what can I do to keep my exercise going? So I have to switch it up. So what I've tried to do, and this is something that I just recently started to incorporate, if I've done like a lower body thing or a cardio thing and my knees and my feet are hurting me, then I'm starting to incorporate some strength training, and I'll focus on the opposite part of my body, my upper body, something light, just to give the area that's injured time to bounce back, time to heal, and then I'll pick it up again. But definitely not something I had to worry about or consider. I was able to just go. Like I don't have memory of experiencing injuries from exercise when I was younger. It's just not something that I had an issue with. But it's my everyday life now, every day. I think another problem that I'm experiencing is this all or nothing mentality. It really is an all or nothing mentality. Like, and when I say that, I mean, you know, if I'm supposed to exercise for 30 minutes and I only end up having 15 minutes available to me at the end of the day, I'm like, well, forget it. Like, well, what's the point? What's the point? You only have 15 minutes. You need to do a 30-minute workout. Just forget it. Girl, just go sit down, watch that show. There's that show on Netflix you've been wanting to see. Like, just don't worry about it. You'll get back to it tomorrow. And that, I need to stop that because that's really bad. It's not a healthy mentality for me to have. And I don't know why I do that. I do know why I do that. Because then it gives me an excuse to not have to work out. That's what it is. I self-sabotage. I'm supposed to do 30 minutes. I only have 10 or 15. I'm like, well. Oh, well. It's not my fault. You know, I was going to, but then this happened. Or my daughter needed this. Or my parents needed this. Now I only have 10 minutes. There's no point. I'll come back to it tomorrow. But that's going to get me nowhere. That's going to get me nowhere. And you know, I'm realizing that there's actually a lot you can get done in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. There's a lot you can get done. So I'm really trying to like break this mindset that I have right now, that it's like all or nothing, because that's going to get me nothing. And I know that because I used to do it before and it got me nothing, right? That's the mindset I used to have and it got me nowhere. It just kept me in the same place that I was before. And I don't want that to happen again. And so I'm like trying to check myself out of that. But yeah, an all or nothing mentality is something that I definitely struggle with and suffer from, for sure. I also want to talk a little bit about like the mental health piece of it, because for me, it really is like a psychological game more than anything else. That is the hardest piece of all of this. Mentality, my mentality. The psychological game that fitness plays with me. My fitness goals, it's not just about looking good. That's part of it, obviously. Like, obviously I want to look better. But for me, it's really about like feeling better, because I feel pretty crappy most days right now. Low energy. And I just want to feel better. And I want to be healthier for like a long-term thing. So yes, looking good is important, but part of fitness for me is also about feeling better. But like, it's really easy to have these feelings of like failure, like, and shame, you know, when you're going through this process. I feel like I can be my worst enemy where I could just like get down on myself so bad for any time I derail. Why did you eat that cookie? I can't believe you didn't do your workout today. You're never gonna meet your goal. Like all this like down talking that I do to myself, it really takes a toll. It's a challenge. It's something that I know I have to work on. I have to stop being so hard on myself and just allow myself some grace. Allow myself the opportunity to be human and just like take it, realize that it's like a slow and steady race. And like when you're in your 40s, you're just dealing with life experiences. You're dealing with all this life experience that can come into play and like just kind of like, you know, mess with you mentally, right? All these reasons why, you know, you're not gonna succeed, why you're gonna fail, like all these, you know, past failures, I've done this before, what makes me think I'm gonna, you know, succeed this time, all this nonsense, all this like cloud that's in there. Really finding a way to just move past that and break through it is not easy. So for me, I've just come to realize that movement, period, is success. My walks are good enough. They will get me to my goal. It's just going to maybe take a little bit longer than it did when I was in my 20s. Because when I was in my 20s, I was working out for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I would be able to do 30 minutes on the treadmill or elliptical and then go and do my strength training. And it was nothing. My body was okay with it. My body is not forgiving like that right now. I can't do that extent of training all at once. So it's just a different game. It's a different game that I'm playing. The rules have changed, the game has changed, and I think I've just come to realize this. And hopefully this is what helps me just kind of, you know, be kind to myself and to my body and just allow it to take the time it needs, because it's gonna need some time. It's gonna need a lot of time. So I'm just preparing for dinner here. I'm doing a whole chicken and we're gonna have some sauteed vegetables. I had a video that showed me prepping this and then I just realized it didn't record very well. So I only have a little bit of that video left. So I'll show you how I went about stuffing it and how I went about like sealing it, because I think that's a pretty neat trick that I learned from a chef on TV. So I'll share that with you now. Okay, so what I always like to do is I stuff my chicken with like a whole onion. I just like plop it right in there, just like so. And it just helps it stay nice and like firm and erect. Don't come for me in the comments. So I'll stuff my chicken like that. And then I use the onion afterwards to like make a gravy and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And I saw this trick. Chef on the TV did this. And I've done it a couple times now and it's worked out well. So let me see if I can do this again and show you how I do this. If you don't have ties to tie your chicken, a trick, let me see if I can get this. Use the fat, like these fat flaps, and push the legs through them and it holds the chicken closed for you. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get it in there, but let's see. Getting it? Woo! There you go. Okay, so there's one side done. Let's see if we can get the other side in. So you just cut a little hole and then you just, boom! Just like that, friend. Like, that's awesome. A nice, easy way to just close up that chicken. Love it. Figuring out how to start without burning yourself out, I think, is another big one. Another big one for me, because like I'm just juggling so much, right? A full-time job, teenage daughter, husband, elderly parents who need support, a dog who needs love and affection. So how do you like fit everything in and not burn out? How do you be present for everybody in your life and still show up for yourself as well and not feel burnt out? That's been a huge challenge. And so I've had to really think of ways to try to incorporate my fitness into my everyday, or at least earlier in the day, so that I'm not waiting until 9 o'clock at night to try to get all this stuff done. Because if I wait that long, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna get done. I know it, the Lord knows it. So lunch periods for me are great. I will either take my lunch to walk, and if I don't walk during my lunch, then I'll take my lunch like I am today to do something else, like food prep or get my dinner started. so that I can take my dinner, like the time I would usually take after work to prepare my dinner, to do my exercise. Something's got to give. I think another big thing that has helped is just communicating my goals with my loved ones, with my daughter and my family, so that they know what I'm trying to achieve, and like sharing the space, right? So for example, the basement is kind of like the living room space where myself and my daughter will chill, where we have our own TV and we have our gaming console and everything down there. So, 6 o'clock is when she will usually like to go and game with her friends. But communicating to her what my goals are, and just, asking her for 30 minutes if I'm working out downstairs instead of going for a walk, has helped a lot, so that she can support me through that. So communicating that, asking for the time and the space that I need to just be on my own and just get that done, has helped a lot, definitely. And I think just like taking like a slow and steady approach, building my habits like gently and slowly is definitely a must, because I'm just feeling like too overwhelmed if I try to think of everything. I gotta figure out my fitness plan, and then I gotta food prep, and then I gotta like completely gut my fridge. Health foods only. That's too much, okay? That's unrealistic. That's enough to just make anyone say, forget it. I'm good, I'm gonna stay the way I am. So gently, small things, little habits, week by week, I've been incorporating something new, and that's made it feel a lot more manageable and attainable as well. And then another thing that I need to get out of my head about is that, like, why am I competing with my 20-year-old self? Why am I thinking that I need to be able to accomplish fitness goals that I was able to accomplish when I was in my 20s and 30s? Absolutely ridiculous. But that is how I started this journey. I was like, okay, like when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was able to do like an hour power walk, cardio for an hour, and then I would do 20 minutes of strength training. Like, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to do again. No, girl, I don't know who you think you are, but that's not happening, okay? It's not happening. My body's tapping out. Like, time out.
Nope.
Done. 30 minutes, okay? That's it. That's all I got. I have a good 30, maybe 35 minutes before something starts to hurt. Before my knees feel like they're gonna give out, before my hips feel like, they're moving in the wrong direction, before my foot starts to like, I don't know what it does, some kind of weird cramping thing, but it does it. I have like 30 to 35 minutes, and then it's like break time. And so I have to be realistic about that and acknowledge that. I have to stop competing with my 20-year-old self. I have to stop doing that and stop being hard on myself when I can't reach my 20-year-old fitness goals. I have to work with where I am in life now and set realistic goals for who I am today. And that is taking me a minute to figure out and to realize. But I think I have. I think I've figured that out. And I think I'm being kinder to myself now. Oh man. So it's not easy. It's not easy. If you're in your 40s and if you're struggling like I am to kind of, start a new fitness journey and reach new fitness goals, let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear about it. Because, I think we need to like support each other and just like, let's gather here. Let's gather and let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the things. I just want you to know that like you're not alone and you're not lazy and your body's not broken. It just needs a minute. That's all it is. And you're just human. And it's okay to allow yourself to be human, to be kind to yourself. And I have to stop punishing myself, right? We have to stop punishing ourselves. And we'll get there. We'll get there. When my body, I will get there one day. My body's in charge. So I'm just kind of like going with the flow. My body will let me know when we've arrived, basically. My body will let me know. And that's just how I have to deal with this. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this is something that you found helpful at all, please give the video a thumbs up just to let me know. And if you feel like you'd like to come along for this journey with me, if you're in a similar journey, I'd love to have you join this community, and so that we can just support each other. So maybe you want to consider subscribing. I would love to see you come back again. Like always, thank you for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next video.